Okay, we're back in open session. 7A, possible action from closed session, performance review county administrator.
Thanks.
Mike, yeah, I see him.
I'll make a motion that we turn in our evaluation forms to the county chair to be forwarded to the executive committee.
George Busey will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Do you want the evaluation form turned into?
County- Yeah, county chair. The chair, yeah,
The one
County
you're
chairman.
sitting in, George?
the county chairman to be forwarded to the executive committee.
I don't know that that's a necessary step, but we got to vote on it. We have a motion and a second. Forward these questionnaires on to the board chair. And then take to the executive committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Appreciate your support.
Okay,
Pat?
Regarding those evaluations, does the purpose of those end with giving the administrator feedback? And in particular, given the contract is up in September, are those in any way going to be used by the executive committee or otherwise in considering the next contract, job description, et cetera? And I ask that question because if they're only for purposes of giving feedback at the moment, that's one thing. But I think we should have a clear understanding if they are going to form any basis for considering going forward so that the board knows the answer to that question.
Matt?
Yeah, I guess I'd like to make a motion that the executive committee make a recommendation for goals for the county administrator for the upcoming year, and also a proposal of an increase, if any, to his benefits. So I'm making a motion that those issues be referred to executive committee that comes back to this group and makes a recommendation to us all for consideration on those goals and benefits.
I'll second that motion. Mike Stark.
All right, did you hear the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Go to number 8, reports and updates, administrator.
Okay, most of my stuff was covered earlier, but there are 2 more updates. One, we had our hearing at the Department of Revenue regarding the point. I believe that went very well. Final briefs are due May 5th. And the DOR has 180 days from when the point first turned their petition in. So that would bring it to the end of June when they have to make a decision. But I believe it went very well for our side. The other thing is Kim Lavasser had her grievance hearing and the results came in last week and the county won the hearing. She does have the right to appeal to this board, but the board can only decide whether or not the hearing administrator, who's John Carlson, made a grievous error. So I do expect her to make that appeal. She asked for the form yesterday, and she has to have it in this week. If that does in fact come in, we will be holding a special board meeting in the near future to discuss that item only. I don't know how long it's going to take, so we just want to have the one item on the agenda You can only consider any evidence that was presented at the hearing. No new evidence is allowed. And again, you'd be deciding whether or not the hearing arbitrator made a grievous error. So I don't know, I could take questions on that.
Bill,
Seeing the executive committee as the personnel, wouldn't it have to go to that committee first to see if it should be moved on to the full board?
No, the employee handbook says a direct appeal to the county board.
How long would this process take? For
As long
us to
as-
sit here and listen to,
As long as this board wants it to take. You do, you're under no requirement to listen to all 19 hours of the hearing. It is recorded if you want to hear it. You can also just see evidence presented by corporate counsel and her. It can be as short as you want or as long as you want. And if it does happen, corporate counsel will be here to explain every detail and answer any questions before you get started.
Pat,
Is that an open hearing or closed? And then if someone is interested in watching all or part of the 19 hours and seeing other documentation, when would people have access to that and how far in advance of a meeting?
The hearing's closed per state statutes. And if any supervisor does want to view all the video, please let me know and I'll put you in contact with corporate counsel who can arrange a suitable time for you.
Clarence,
When the employee requests this grievance hearing, does he or she have to state what reasons that the arbitrator made a grievous error?
Yes, she has to.
So we could just look at that
you could just look,
particular event or that particular,
you could literally just look at the hearing arbitrator's report. But yeah, the person has to state a reason why a grievous error was made. So they have to say why, in this case, why John Carlson, who was our hearing officer, made a mistake in coming to his conclusion.
Bill,
Have you, as the administrator, viewed all the 19 hours?
No, I was only able to view the parts I was in. Sheriff Zupke has not viewed the entire thing either. The only person representing the county that has viewed the entire document is corporate counsel. So I don't know what everybody else said.
Laura,
In this instance, was that Max for this case?
Yeah, Max Lindsay served as corporate counsel.
Because I know we have other pieces going on with other stuff.
Yeah, no, this is Max Lindsay.
This is Mike Stark. Is there any update on her replacement, Kyle Kadat?
Kyle Kadat is on administrative leave right now, and we are still conducting an investigation. So as of right now, the jail sergeants are handling most of the day-to-day stuff, reporting directly to the sheriff and chief deputy.
I got one comment I'd like to make. Going back to the motion that Mike Stark made. If we can go back for a second. I would just recommend that if you have a negative review, go through that process. If you don't, they should be turned into the administrator. Otherwise, why should the executive committee deal with 21 different things when there's maybe one problem? That's just my recommendation. All right, Dan, are you done with your administrator report?
I am done. Yes.
Bill?
What's happening with the building on Second Street that the city proposed to
514.
buy? Is that gone sour or is it okay or what?
I'll turn this over to Supervisor McKenzie.
Yeah, I'll put my city hat on here. And what's going on is the city is still intent on wanting to go through with the purchase. It's, the city council is no different than the county board. It takes the full city council to approve this action. And that's going to be on our next agenda, which is next Tuesday. So an extension is being requested for that time. There's been verbal agreements to that. And the intention is to go through with it.
Any more questions of the administrator? If not, we'll go to staffing and personnel.
Okay, it's actually a smaller list. So, we just had a few people leave. Missy went to, Bayfield County. Let's see, Maya, I believe, took a job at HHS. I know Susie Hicks went back to her former employer for more money and work from home. So it's a smaller list, which is good. She left the county. Yeah. Did she move to Florida? Is that the one who moved to Florida? Okay.
Is that it, Dan?
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully the list stays small going forward.
Dan,
Yeah.
do we?
Right now, Abby Johnson's handling that portion. A lot, and so she's on till September.
Okay. Does any of the county board supervisors have an update or report or anything? George?
Okay, this is George Busset. So for Ag and Extension Committee, back in December, the executive committee delegated to the Ag and Extension Committee the subject of creating a climate change task force. So Ag and Extension at his last meeting considered this area and sent a proposal back up to executive of just in a limited realm of accountability within our departments. So looking for our departments to be considering risks of, roofs falling in, culverts washing out, and having a feedback process that come back to the county board. So hopefully we'll be talking about that in a future agenda. And I just want to sort of everybody maybe be percolating their ideas about what can be useful. Thank you.
Bill?
I'm on the highway committee and highway committee went ahead and did a road tour of some bad roads in Ashland County. And our county board chairman drove the BART bus. And we had two people from Eau Claire. That's in our district. They were represented, and one from Superior, because that's our area, and Representative Chance Green. And we toured 169 by Mellon, and that was kind of breaking up. And then we went and took a tour on GG, and then we went down Highway 13 down by Butternut, and different spots we got out and looked how the road is just falling apart. And different road projects are scheduled for like 13, I think was till 2028 or something.
Yeah.
And the road is horrible now. So what we did is, that's why we went ahead and asked these people to come and take a look at the roads. And our representative was there, which surprised the heck out of me. And when you see part of the, like Highway 13 just falling apart, just patches of it with big holes. The highway department, I don't know how the heck they could patch that much. You know, it'd be like patching the whole road. So what we're hoping to do by getting them to come and actually look at it and see what the problems are, that they do something quicker. So I just thought I'd like to report that I was happy that they came and like I say, we got out and walked, and it was our committee, the highway commissioner, the next guy in line, and the 4 or 5 people that I mentioned. So I just thought I'd bring that up and kind of bring the committee up because the roads are horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had one more thing. So if we have any resolutions we want it submitted to WCA to consider at the convention in September, we have until June 19th to get that done. So if you have anything, please let me know and we'll get it on the next board agenda to send off to WCA. Also, the convention is in September in the Dells. So we are going to be reserving some rooms right away at the host hotel. But if we could get a quick count on who's interested in going, we can always cancel reservations, but if we, it's the second week. It's like the 15th, 16th. I can here.
Anybody else?
I'm just looking at the date for everyone.
Well, I don't know. She's silent all of a sudden.
I'm raising my hand that I'm interested in going.
You what?
I'm raising my hand that I'm interested in going to the WCA.
So it is September 17th to the 19th at the Kalahari.
Kathy?
I just have 2 things to report on. Ag and Extension is doing the clean sweep on June 20th out at the college, Northwoods. They're doing clean sweep. It's really a good project. You can bring your stuff there. Most of it is free. There is a charge for some stuff. They take old car oil. They take all kinds of stuff. Ag and Extension downstairs has the colored pamphlet for you to know what you can take and what. And there's a lot of people that are coming. They also have drugs for donuts that they're doing. So you bring in your drugs from the doctor that you don't need, and they give you donuts for free. So it's a little dry in there.
Drugs for donuts, a hell of a deal.
Drugs for donuts.
Is it 1 donut per pill or what?
I know. And then the last thing, a week from tomorrow, we're dedicating the West Jones Memorial Boat Landing. You're all welcome to come. They're providing a free lunch for people. The bar will be open and after the meeting is all done, and you pay for your drinks, but the lunch is free.
Yeah, Gary.
Question, you said those drugs have to be prescribed by a doctor?
You
Well, no, but I do.
got something you're trying to dump?
Yeah, I just want to give a couple of heads up. When we went on the tour of the roads, and of course, everybody knows all of our roads took a hit this winter, especially some of our county roads, which will affect our budget. The DOT representatives were trying to be gracious and saying that the Highway 13 project from Morse to the Price County line would be moved up a year, which means 26 for the culverts, 2027 for the paving, and that's not going to work. What we're waiting back now is for them to come back to the county highway and tell them what they can do now, because that road is undrivable. I mean, I'm surprised the bus is even in one piece. But that being said, I want to go back and repeat something that happened again in 2021, we received $1 million towards the county project on GG south of Clam Lake from the feds. So that was $1 million we got from the federal government that didn't come out of the coffers. We're going to pave a large stretch from Clam Lake to Mineral Lake in the next 2 years. It's a $2.1 million contract. The federal government is paying the entire project. That's 2.1 million the county doesn't have to pay for. So we're lucky in that aspect that we have federal land along those highways that we could have applied. And the fact that they're paying for the whole project is a good thing. So that helps. Thank you.
Matt?
Yeah, some of you might have seen in the newspaper and like to let you know what's going on. We had an overflow of our treatment plant in the city of Ashland, and everybody had an overflow. There's not a community around here that has a treatment facility that didn't have an overflow. The numbers, we're obligated in open and transparency to say what was discharged, and ours is not as much as some, but it's still a large amount. That the totals were around 18 million gallons. But what I want to do is get the other side of it out too, is that actually 90% of that was rainwater and snow runoff and meets the standards for release of water back. Obviously there's 10% and we in the city look at it, we don't want to lose any water. But and it's been 3 years since we've had an overflow. The city's been working hard at reducing that. One of the biggest problems we have is an aged infrastructure with clay tiles where the water gets to the joints and it seeps in. And then that ends up at our treatment plant as part of this. And that's, we've made headway on that. We figure we have 30% of that cleaned up. So that's what allowed us to go. And we've had some significant rain events over the last 3 years. But as you hear things, I wanted to hear what has happened. We're not denying it. But it's not as bad as it could have been. And, if you can help us spread that word, so that, everybody's not thinking that it's just a bunch of chalupas floating down the river. It is mostly clean water. Thank you. The other thing I'd like to recommend is that for the WCA, when we go forward, I think as a community and as a county, we should talk to them about PFAS. And, we're dealing with it on the lake issue here, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time before the well systems in the county, which is most everybody else, finds it and has to deal with it as well. And it's going to be a considerable expense.
Liz?
I recently attended again the Paradigm Liaison training. It's a pipeline safety for gas and oil pipelines. And it was very interesting talking about what would happen in an event of a natural disaster, and local and county and tribal agencies, what response time, and you can check it out. They have a really good website, Paradigm Liaison. Pretty good.
Yes, John.
I got one thing to say for everybody here. I just would like to thank every one of the members here for doing the best they can. And sometimes that we need to evaluate our own selves in our own meetings, in our own committees, so I just thank everybody for doing the best they can, and that's all I can tell you.
Thanks, John. In regards to what Bill said about Highway 13. Between Glidden and Butternut, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I drove over the road for 50 years. I've never seen nothing like that. It looks like it was carpet bombed. You can't patch that. There's no way in hell. It's every 3 feet, there's another hole. So something's got to be done a hell of a lot sooner, and I hope we can convince the state to do that. Anybody else? All right, next we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Ron. Mike. Seconded by Mike Berlin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.